Songwriter blessed with a soulful, passionate voice. And while that might be bad news for the battered cod connoisseurs of Scotland, it's good news for us. Here's Paolo Nutini, and he's next on 9am.
Hey, I put some new shoes on and suddenly everything's right.
It's such a great record. According to last week's Vancouver West Ender, that'd be Canada, Paolo Nutini has been likened to a raspier John Mayer, a mumblier Ewan McGregor, and a dreamier Julian Casablancas. But make no mistake, the comparisons mean nothing. Having recorded one of the great albums of 2006, Paolo stands alone. Good morning, Paolo.
Good morning, Paolo.
Good morning.
Do you get the impression David's impressed?
Yeah, he talks a good tongue, doesn't he, man? It's nice.
No, seriously, he's been banging on about this for, well, ever since it came out last year, and it's great to have him.
It's really, really great record. You know, we get so many records in here, and it's just great to get a really, really good one. Listen, before we get into the record, Paolo, have you ever been surfing?
No, I would love to do it. You don't get much of a chance in Scotland.
People do surf in
I know
Scotland,
they do stuff. I don't personally.
What, do they wear 8-inch wetsuits or something?
Yeah, they got to. Very thick.
Yeah. The reason I ask is because you're about to go up to Byron Bay for the Blues and Roots Festival. It's one of the great places to go surfing. I mean, you really need to grab yourself a board before you get there. But have you been to You haven't done the Blues Festival before, have you?
No, this spell has been the first time in Australia, you know. It's my first 4 days, I think, I've been here.
There's a magnificent lineup.
Yeah, I know it, right after me, on the next stage, Rodriguez plays.
Yeah?
I never ever thought I'd get to see Rodriguez play live. He's one of my, you know, big-time heroes.
Yeah. Recently, I was reading about, you did a concert at Carnegie Hall for Ahmed Ertegun.
That was last year, yeah.
And he personally asked you to play. I mean, Ahmed Ertegun is one of the leading lights of, you know, contemporary music. What was that like?
It was great. You know, it was. I remember the first time we met us. He came to one of the shows we did before that in New York. It's in a smaller place called the Mercury Lounge, and he, you know, he was just full of nice things to say. You know, that Shoes song, kid, that's a hit. That Shoes song.
Yeah.
And that was great. And then we went. Then I got news about the Carnegie Hall, and it was to play with the New York. It was basically the New York Pops Orchestra have you know, every year their anniversary, and then they honour somebody at each one, and this was Amit. So he invited us along, and it was great. I mean, when we walked in, when we arrived, Liza Minnelli was sound checking on the stage. That was a surreal moment.
Let's take it all back a bit for people who aren't familiar with you or your music. How did it all start for you?
It's sort of still going, I suppose. I don't know.
All right. Well, how did you get out of the fish and chip shop?
I was only in the fish and chip shop for a little bit.
That's your parents' shop, right?
That's my parents' shop, yeah.
In Glasgow?
Paisley, yeah, just outside Glasgow, yeah.
And so when did you get your first opportunity on stage? Because it was kind of fortuitous and accidental at the same time.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, there was one time, there was a guy called David Snedden, a young, late 20s, sort of won this national TV show, it's called Fame Academy. You probably have an equivalent here, right?
It's probably like Idol.
It's a bit more credible in the sense that they have to write songs in there.
Idol with credibility.
That's a good thing, though, that, you know, to have to
tiny little, but it's the same premise. You go in, you get judged, you get put out, one person wins, same songs, everything.
Yeah.
But you found yourself on stage quite accidentally.
So he won this show, this boy from Paisley, same town as me, and so they come back and they do a civic reception for him, and he was late to show up, and I was there giving a ticket off my dad because they gave him free tickets in the shop, and they got me a day off school. So I went. I was in my uniform and everything. Went with my girlfriend, and they held a competition to sing, and you had to get the answer right. And if you answered the question right, you went up, stuck up your hand, and they picked you. You got up and sang, and I ended up knowing the answer, put my hand up, they picked me, I sang, I won the little competition, and that's how I met the man who's my manager. Right. That was when I was 15.
Right. He was in the audience, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then he asked me if I wrote any songs, and I'd finished like 2 full songs, I think. I sent him the songs, and he set me up with a man who was the drummer, who's going to be drumming with me later, and yeah, I've sort of just kept on writing and recording. You know,
talking about writing, it's a really sexy record.
Nice one.
How come? Where'd all the sex come from?
Sex? Well, you know, along the way. You know what I mean?
It's just such a sexy record, you know, and it's about longing and love and sex and so
I mean,
on.
a lot of the songs. In fact, every song that talks about a woman, rather than the single Jenny, which is about this girl Jenny, are all about one girl and who I'm with again. You know, so this was somebody that's. You know, when you get somebody that sort of dominates your head, you don't really know why, but...
Yeah,
you know,
but it's an inspiration nonetheless.
It's a really tough thing to get your first record away, but when it's such a successful and beautiful record like this one is...
It really is absolutely beautiful.
Do you worry about the second one?
No, I don't worry. I've not got any time to worry about it just now. Just get on with it. We're going to tour. You know, the thing we've got, we've been lucky to get is a good response from a lot of countries, so... You know, it makes it worth our while to go over there and spend some time, so...
Yeah.
I mean, we've been writing along the way and we're introducing new songs into the set, you know, whenever we do them, and it's definitely coming together in some way, but we'll be thinking about it over the summer. We'll only be doing festivals, so we'll have a bit more time to sort of home in on the ideas and get ready for the next album.
Yeah.
And where to after Australia?
Yeah, straight to Japan.
Oh, that'll blow your mind.
Yeah, the way that people talk about it, I think I'm either going to really love it or really hate it. You know, it sounds like it's very manic. It sounds like it's...
Oh, I think you'll love Japan.
It's Blade Runner, right?
Fantastic place. Yeah.
It sounds like Blade Runner.
Yeah, it's a bit like Blade
Yeah.
Runner.
It's lovely to meet you, Paolo.
Really lovely to meet you. Thank you for your time. And, of course, this is the record. It's called These Streets. It's a fantastic record. Paolo is in Australia to promote his album, These Streets. And with his latest single, Jenny, Don't Be Hasty, here's Paolo Nutini.
You said you'd marry me if I was 23, but I wonder you can see if I'm only 18. Tell me who makes these rules, obviously not you. Who are you answering to? Oh, Jenny, don't be hasty. Don't treat me like a baby. Let me take you where you let me, because leaving just upsets me. Your body, I really hope that you forgive me now. And don't just ask me to leave. Oh, Jenny, don't be hasty. No, don't treat me like a baby. Let me take you where you let me, because leaving just upsets me. Oh, Jenny, you're crazy. First I'm perfect, then I'm lazy. I was calling you my baby. Now it sounds like you just left me, and it kills me so. Don't treat me like a baby. Let me take you where you let me, because leaving just upsets me. Oh, Jenny, you're crazy. First I'm perfect, then I'm lazy. And I was calling you my baby. Now it sounds like you just left me, and it kills me. No. but now you can see if I'm only